Now, the key concepts of this project, I saw earlier in the Q&A, somebody had asked a question about, how to dispel the myths or false narratives or something like that. And so one thing that I really want people to take away from today, from my presentation, is really that dispelling the false narrative that the City of Oakland is contributing $800 million of Oakland taxpayer money to build this project. That's been floating out there, and I just want to say that that is not true. You might have heard about the concept of an infrastructure financing district, or an IFD, and this would be how the project would generate taxes that would then be reinvested into the project site to pay for it, to pay for infrastructure. These taxes are referred to as but-for taxes, meaning these taxes would not exist but for this project. And so the city is proposing to form an EIFD, or Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District, so special financing district on the project site that would capture new tax money to then go back into the site. Now, that is a concept that can be a little bit complicated to understand, and so I tried to create an IFD example to show how this works. If you look at the tax revenue that a site is generating, right? Like, so a base year, let's say a site generates $1,000 in tax revenue. And let's say that the IFD is formed, and the following year, the site generates $1,500 in tax. That means that there's an extra $500 that is generated from that site, and that $500 would not have been generated but for that project, okay? So then looking at where the money then goes, the $1,000 that was already collected in the past, that would continue to go into the general fund, business as usual. But that extra $500, that new $500 tax increment, that would then be what's reinvested to pay for the infrastructure. That comes from the project, and that's how this project would be supporting itself. So all that new tax revenue that the Howard Terminal project site is generating would go back into the project. So it's not taking money from the general fund to pay for this project. That's what people believe is happening, and I'm here to tell you that that's not what's happening, okay? So for the City of Oakland, it is, we are following what we refer to as our North Star, which means that for us, it's really important to be fiscally responsible as we're negotiating with the Oakland A's. And so that North Star, again, no public funds that will be used to, well, first of all, build or operate the ballpark itself. The Oakland A's have been very consistent in saying that the ballpark would be privately financed. We wouldn't issue any general obligation bonds, and we would not put the general fund at risk. And there would be no increases to city or county property tax rates. That's another concern that we hear from people, that their property taxes are going to go up and pay for this project, and that's not what's happening, okay? This project will just generate a ton of public benefits that I already went over. And so that's something that I really hope people will take away from my presentation.